All right, as is the case, this is an ongoing chain of documentation showing how there is no exception with regard to the engagement in a pattern of conduct and a specific environment, which is an entire impossibility based on logic, science, common sense, and the operation of nature. This is the engineered light. I took pictures of this upon my entry to my apartment after leaving what is third-party group stalker Maria Mercado, who's going to federal prison. She lives at the crime scene, which is Alvarado Gardens. She's engaged in 24/7 criminal surveillance on behalf of the state, engaging in criminal surveillance on behalf of the state and terrorism and that ongoing unlimited criminal activity, which the police themselves do not have the ability legally to, and they're going to federal prison for it, and so are the people that maliciously engage in that criminal conduct in concert with them. This is the venue where the entity is day and night stalking me, both in my private space and at work, terrorizing in a helicopter and maintaining the specific environment. Everybody at Alvarado Gardens is going to federal prison. The entity, with the exception of those that are minors, they will be removed from the households of those who are living at the crime scene, placed in this unstable, dangerous, and demented. This is a demented environment where you have what is the secret society, including minors, and literally teaching them, contributing to the delinquency of these minors who are practicing targeting American citizens. They're literally being reared up in this environment. And that's, first of all, engaging in criminal conduct on behalf of a government. That's unprecedented criminal activity. They will be removed from the people of the state who have custody living at the crime scene. At 3:37 p.m., I was just outside capturing video. So I'm just using April 29, 2022 as an example. Not only was I at the Fontana Police Department after leaving pursuant to criminal summoning, while the entity summoned the entity that is stalking me by helicopter and by armed demon-possessed group stalkers that are identified as the Fontana Police Department in the specific environment. The entity is a psychopath that is engaging in what is masquerading as a police department who's not already engaged in the pattern of conduct. Criminal summoning is a malicious act by that entity, whereby they are essentially just summoning itself. The entity is summoning itself. All right, the vicarious arm is summoning the entity to be physically present to directly communicate a threat. A threat is always being communicated while you're subject to the P.O.C. This is the entity providing that ongoing malice for, oh, we called the police and then the police came. Okay, the police were always there. The police represent the state. The state is always there. They're monitoring. That's why you have directed light, the light source over the Fontana Lewis Library, which is not going to be over my head, while the LAPD is group stalking in a helicopter at the same time here in Los Angeles. On April 29th, going on with that day, since I'm using that as an example, again, I have a body of evidence speaking to, you can pick a day, any day. But April 29th, 2022, I went to the 7-Eleven in the Fontana Police Department. Those are demons that are harassing, stalking in the path, anticipating my arrival. And you know that because of the engineered light, that never occurs naturally. That's speaking to deliberation, malice, and intent. That's also a threat while you're witnessing that demonic light, that impossible light, which is what this is, okay? And also, it's present, and you know that they're stalking in the path, and I know that I'm aware the entity is keeping the light source over my head on Juniper and Arrow. The same street, like I stated in my previous video, the sun is over me while Officer McMillan of the Fontana Police Department is group stalking at that same street at 9 o'clock in the morning. So 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, that's over 6 hours. The entity is maintaining the light source. I get on the bus at the Fontana Metrolink train station, and I travel to Upland, California. So this is Route 66, and I will upload Route 66 of Omnitrans. Omnitrans is a third-party group stalker. This is a venue. I'm subject to systematic group stalking and monitoring, while the entity is maintaining a light source over my head while I am sitting on Route 66, leaving from Fontana, California, traveling westbound to Upland, California. And I am at 3:37 capturing video as I sit on the driver's side of the bus. And on the driver's side, directly over my head through the window, you see the light source, which is in no way going to create any light activity through closed blinds nonetheless. And also, it's not going to be visible outside of my window. That's the occurring pattern of conduct. Excuse me. That's the ongoing capture of the pattern of conduct. I want to make sure you can see the light source. This is the same light source that is not going to be through the window of Route 66 on the driver's side of the bus driving westbound on Day Creek at Foothill Boulevard, adjacent to the Longhorn, in between that Wells Fargo. Very precise maintenance of that light source for the duration of that route. That's not going to be visible through my apartment. This is a demonic act right here. This is a group stalker that's pacing around. This is a demon that's moving in the engineered light. And you know that because there's no sun that's going to be over a bus, over your head on the bus of Omnitrans. It's present because group stalkers like that are monitoring. And that's capturing what is impunity, because that psychopath is stalking and is present because of me, and you know that by the environment. All right, and is engaging in what is the demonic pattern of conduct. So you have what is maintaining this environment while I'm on Route 66, and I'll upload that video. That was documentation of what is Uber, and by that I'm referencing this previous video. That's documentation of third-party group stalker Uber, whose headquarters, by the way, is in the facilitating venue. California is a facilitating venue. California is monitoring American citizens, and I have captured it while I live in Southern California. And by the way, Uber is a third-party group stalker whose headquarters is in the state of California. And the entity is group stalking also by that third party whose license plate I captured in that previous video. And this is ongoing documentation just confirming what is the maintenance of engineered light, which you already know, because this is impossible light activity. You see the hovering stalker that is aiming engineered light in this direction right now. And what you saw earlier this morning was the same pattern of blinds appearing above this door, in the same way that you've seen the pattern of blinds appear upon my ceiling. The entity is engaging in what is an ongoing maintenance, which is direct evidence against Uber. It's direct evidence against the Fontana Police Department. It's direct evidence against Omnitrans. It's direct evidence against the people of the state while I'm on Omnitrans, and they're monitoring me systematically on the roads and the highways. And I'm speaking the language relevant to Title 18, Section 2261A. But again, the government has no basis, your Fourth Amendment right. I'm speaking constitutional rights to place you under surveillance perpetually. All right. And it's also a sex offense. While I'm in public, none of this is naturally occurring. The engineered light is for a criminal purpose. And this is why the government and the people of the state who are in the shoes of the government are going to be prosecuted under grounds which shall be recognized. The fact that I'm subject to a sex offense, not only because I am being molested by this engineered light because of a criminal that wants to obsessively keep me under surveillance for no legitimate or lawful purpose, but also because they're monitoring inside of the private space. And just like any other stalker that would keep some sort of mechanism onto my door while I'm physically indisposed or engaged in any private activity and is maintaining awareness in some unlawful nature about what's going on inside of my private space and when I'm in the bathroom and when I'm physically nude and when I'm taking a shower. All of this is what the entity is doing while they're monitoring on an ongoing basis. They're sex offenders, and that is necessarily and reasonably bringing into question and making relevant the mind state of the mentally disturbed, the personality defect, which is inherent to the demon-possessed, which are third-party group stalkers. These demon-possessed law enforcement agencies and this malicious system that is underway. I just want to be clear, understand how all those facts works together and how it is speaking directly to, yes, you are going to federal prison, but you will also be subject to what are mandatory mental examinations based on the very demented pattern of conduct of the people of the state and this unfathomable level of malice. But again, it's not intelligent, okay? And it's shown very clearly, it's vividly illustrative through documentation. There's no sun that's over Route 66 through any window of Route 66 at any time of day while the sun is remaining over me at Alvarado Gardens. And again, that's rising in alignment to my apartment in the morning and then setting in alignment to my apartment. And you also know that sunlight does not appear in any direction. There is no iteration of the natural environment that would create the light activity you saw above my door. But yet you are witnessing what is ongoing impunity while third-party group stalkers such as Uber and the third-party group stalkers who live at the crime scene are engaged in ongoing monitoring of the documentation. That's again, they're not only going to federal prison, but they're going to federal prison for a long time. Okay, the impermissible threat in concert with the state that's also stalking and terrorizing by helicopter, they're going to federal prison for a long time. You're disbanding these law enforcement agencies that are engaging in criminal surveillance. It's currently 3:46 p.m. and this is P.O.C.